For teenagers, the pressure to fit in is constant. Teenagers spend more than 50% of their time in the company of their peers, and because of this, their peers have a significant influence on their lives. In order to feel accepted and be included, teenagers can be peer pressured into conforming to the norms of their clique. Conformity is the tendency to align your beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors with those around you.
Guys, preps, JV jocks, Asian nerds, cool Asians, varsity jocks, unfriendly black hotties, girls who eat their feelings, girls who don't eat anything, desperate wannabes, burnouts, sexually active band geeks, the greatest people you will ever meet, and the worst. Beware of the plastics.
According to the UB Alberti Center for Bullying Abuse Prevention, 40% of the social dynamics in schools is made up of cliques and wannabes. There's a lot of cliques.
It all depends on who you're friends with, what you wear, what you like, what you're into.
They always act the same way just because they are in the same group, I would say, and they influence each other.
Some of them are more inclusive than others.
Some kids are, some would say fashionable, so they always have to have the nicest clothes and the nicest shoes. Others are really sporty, so you often see them at the gym.
They all have similar interests.
I think there's cliques at every single school.
28% of teenagers agreed that giving into peer pressure improved their social standing.
I bake. What? I love to bake. Strudel, scones, even apple pandowdy. Someday, I hope to make the perfect creme brulee.
Sandy! Danny? What are you doing here? I thought you were going back to Australia.
We had a change of plans.
I can't... Well, that's cool, baby. I mean, you know how it is. Rockin' and rollin' and whatnot.
Danny?
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
What's the matter with you?
Have you felt pressured to conform to the norms of your clique?
Yeah, sometimes. I feel like I have to like certain things. And I have an example. I bought Tim's because everybody else had Tim's for years. I was like, oh, I have to buy Tim's now.
Yes, especially when I was younger, but now I think that when you get older, you find your own individuality and you start to separate from the group. It's hard to really take control of what you think is right when so many people are pressuring you.
It's that subtle peer pressure where everyone else is doing a certain thing or dressing a certain way. You start to feel on the outside if you don't do the same thing as everyone else.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I never used to be into shoes or clothes or anything, but one day some idiot kid made fun of my clothes and my shoes, and I swore I'd never be laughed at for that again. So that's when I really started to buy a lot of shoes and to buy a lot of clothes.
Yes, sometimes, because for example, fashion, there's trends to fashion, right? So a lot of people want to be trendy and stuff, so they would most of the time wear the things that other people wear.
If they wanted to do something that I didn't want to do, they'd try to convince me, and obviously I didn't want to go because I don't want to feel like I'm the only one left out. What is your opinion about those who resist conformity?
I feel like they're brave, they're unique, and I would like to be one of them.
They're great because society needs diversity and more people like that.
Well, it depends how much, right? If they're just doing it to be different or whatever, I think that's kind of weird and you're just rebelling kind of for no reason. But if they're doing it because that's how they feel they are, or they feel that they should be a certain way but the group goes against them, I think it's fine.
That's definitely good. That's a good thing. It's important to be yourself. Don't I'd rather have people dislike me for who I am than like me for who I'm not.
I say more power to you, honestly. I wish I could not care what everybody else thinks, and I think they're doing the right thing.
It's good that there's people that don't want to conform, so there's like always clashing of ideals. So that's what causes the world to be more exciting.
Students and staff at York Mills admire people who resist conformity but fall victims of conformity themselves. What effect does conformity have on our future?
Kind of ruins us though, because we live in a society that we
rely on other people,
yeah,
what they
exactly.
say and what they think.
And we have an image of what we want to be, but at the same time, maybe that's not what our friend group is accepting, you know? So it kind of ruins us in a way and we can't be ourselves.
I think it does sort of force people to be less creative.
Yeah, it definitely is like oppresses like us against our imagination and like breaking free and like expressing who we are as a person.
It takes away from the individual. And there's gonna be a lot less like innovation and stuff because like a lot of that like creativity comes from like each person's individuality and uniqueness. And it's just not gonna be as much of that if everyone tries to be the same.
Yeah, people that have carbon copies of other people are just boring. Like you've seen it all before, they're not interesting.
And I think conformity is going to be the downfall of the human society, you feel me? Like, yeah, I think we all need to figure out who we are, and we need to stop trying to be what others want us to be.
Conformity has a negative effect on the future because we need diversity in careers and different mindsets for society to function at its best, because if everyone thinks one certain way, then it'll be less efficient and the world would be a boring place. So I think it's good that people diversify.
Is it important to resist the pressure to conform?
I guess in some areas, like if it's something about shoes, I guess like it doesn't matter that much, but if it's something more important about, or like such as presidency, then yeah, you have to have your own individual opinion because that really matters.
Yeah, it's important to not listen to everything everyone's saying because sometimes they're your age and you know they might not know what they're doing.
When we're talking about things that are potentially negative and destructive, and really I guess at that point we're starting to talk more about laws, then yeah, that's something that could be bad. But when it's someone who's expressing their individuality, their own identity, and if it's different than the group, there's nothing really wrong with that.
It's really important because then you're going to lose your own sense of individuality, and in the process you'll forget who you really are. So it's important to stay true to yourself and never change who you are just because of who you're surrounded with, or else everyone would be the same and that's boring.
Yeah, of course, it's very important. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to make everybody happy. There's always going to be a new trend that comes along. So if you keep hopping from one bandwagon to the other, you're never going to be happy in life.
Yeah, it's like many things in life, there are always going to be challenges and struggles, and peer pressure, conformity is one of those things that will always be there. Obviously, for students in their teen years, it's going to be at a higher level, but even as adults, there's still a certain amount of that as well, so it's an ongoing struggle, and it's an important one because people really need to be true to themselves and be individuals.
Conformity contributes to loss of creativity, confidence, and self-awareness. We need to fight the pressure to conform and be proud to stand out.